Welcome student to my channel Education Maths and Science. Today I discuss also the physics from the Newton's second law, first law and the momentum. The so many things are write down here for a better understanding and time saving also. And that there is a details idea about the impulse or the momentum and so many the application in the natural and the other things. Which one you just solve? That is the very important thing. Now here, first one, you know the Newton first law, you know the Newton's second law. What is from the actually Newton's first law is coming from the second law. It's coming. Newton first law says if there is no external force is acting, that is very important thing. The rest body is rest and the motion body is going to move in the same direction and same velocity. Here, in case of the second law says F is equal to ma, no problem. Okay. If F is zero, in case of physics, I already say you the mathematical deduction, mathematical concept is very important. Okay. If A is zero, then A is zero because mass is not zero. Okay. A is 0. If the A is 0, that means there is no change in velocity. Acceleration is actually the change in velocity. There is no change in velocity. So A is 0, that means no force, no acceleration, no change in velocity. No change in velocity. That means actually what is the meaning of this? No change in velocity. That means the rest body is belongs to rest and a moving body is continue to move. That means there is no change in velocity. Rest body remains rest and the moving body is continue to move in the same velocity. That is the first law. First law says the external force is not acting on it. A moving body is always to move the same direction and same velocity, and in case of the rest body is remains rest. That is proven. So from the second law you just prove the first law. Now the other process is the linear momentum. Just last video I just discussed linear momentum. That means mass into velocity. You know, is the mass into velocity. The certain time. What is the change? Rate of change of velocity. If the certain time is t. So what is the change in momentum? Delta p by delta t. In place of delta p, you write in this way. So now this m is out. So delta v by t. So ultimately this is v by t, delta v by delta t. So that is the change in velocity. That is the acceleration. That is the acceleration ma. So that is actually f force. That means force F is equal to delta p by delta t. That is very important. This formula is very important. This is the application here in the natural phenomena. F is equal to delta p. Delta p means actually the slight momentum change and the slight very small time. Okay, delta t. If one thing is arise here, if delta p, that is the momentum, is fixed. So if you just decrease the temperature, the force is increased. If the temperature means the time, and if the time is increased, so F is decreased. This is actually the inversely proportional here. Here, if this part, suppose this is a moving body, mu is fixed here. So if you stop it, so if this is unchanged, so if it is a quick time, if this is t is greater, so this value is less. If t is smaller, this value is high. So this is an application here for that. So many examples. Okay. So two-way change in moment of a body, change in momentum of a body in the two-way. One is the application is the large force, small duration, or is a small force in the long duration. The change in momentum means initial momentum যা ছিল, the momentum is change. এটা কিভাবে করা যায়? In these two way. One is the large force you apply very short time, or a very small force during the long time. So many examples for there here is. Now the first thing, apply a large force and small duration. Even so many examples are there. It's a natural phenomenon. Suppose hitting a cricket ball by a bat. Hitting a cricket ball by a bat. Certain ball is just the rest condition. If you just a very huge force you apply in by the bat, the huge momentum is developed. That means applying a large force by a very short duration. That means just a connecting time of the bat and ball is very short. but you apply the huge force, the certain momentum. In case of when the ball is moving to the batsman, the huge force is applied by the batsman to certain quick development of the large momentum, very short time. When hammering a nail, suppose you input by a wall a hammering, you just use a very large force you apply, very shortened time. So nail is input in the wall. The hammering a very large force to the nail, very short time. The huge momentum is developed. Okay, hammering a nail by hitting. Okay, by hitting a ping pong, you just, in case of the table tennis, just hitting a very short period, very quick force you apply, very quick force you apply, the huge amount of the momentum is developed. So this is the example of the very large force you apply and small duration. In this way, the quick and huge momentum is developed. Now, one very important thing, this is the quick large momentum is developed. Here, number two, small force but long duration. Small force, long duration. The momentum of a moving body is brought to zero. Is a large duration so as to reduce the effect of the exert by the moving body. That is one example in case of when catching a cricketer or the fielders catching a ball. Suppose an example of this here. Watch, while catching a ball, the cricketer withdraw his hands along the ball. Suppose he's bowling very high speed, the catching the ball, and the player or the fielders is just not grip this, is turn this, coming to this. The ball is gripping in this way and along toward this is coming. That means the duration, the time of duration is increased to reduce the effect of the force. That means you just there is a question. So this is the effect. The total momentum is the ball is coming. The very fast moving ball is coming, and the cricketer, the catch the ball, not stay here, not stay. He's just moving in this way, along this way. This is the way. Withdraw his hands along the ball. Ballটা এদিকে আসছে. The moving in the direction is this, and the catching the ball not fixed here. It's coming to this, nearer to this. That means just the same direction. Why? Because he's not stop here in that position. He stop here. So during the time is very increased. So if you increase the time, the force is decreased. That means here the momentum of a moving body, the momentum of the moving body is zero, brought to zero. Is a large duration. That means from here you just catching, but you just increase the time to catching here. Just grip, not rebounds. Okay, so as to reduce the effect of the force exert by the ball. That means you catch the ball. If you just catch here, so is a moving body, the effect of force, that means effect rebounds from this effect, the force is large. But if you just catch and just reduce time, just reduce the force, in which you just taking the stop the ball in the increase the time. That means তুমি এখানে বলটা না ধরে তুমি জাস্ট এটাকে টানলে এরকম ভাবে, so you just increase the time. Increase the time is a mathematical deduction. If you increase the time, that is the force is decreased. That means এখানে exert করবে, the force exert by the moving ball on your hand, this is reduced. For that, force exerted by the moving body is reduced. তাহলে কিছু বলটা তোমার হাত থেকে ছিটকে বেরিয়ে যাবে না, and you avoid the injury in your hand. প্রচন্ড স্পিডে আসছে, that means a very good high momentum. If you stop not at instant, certain time you decrease. For that reason, you not catching the ball in this way, you just reduce this coming in this way. For that reason, you increase the time to stop the ball. For that reason, the exert force is less to avoid the injury of your hand, and you stop the ball. Ball is not rebound because the moving ball is just force exerted from that is out from your hand. The catch is missing. For that reason, the cricketer just gripping the ball and doing this. So it's hand and along with the ball. Withdraw means this along with the ball. বলটাকে এরকম ধরে এখানেই আটকে রাখে না, সে ভাতটাকে টেনে নেয় এরকম ভাবে. For that reason, the time is to stop the ball, you just increase the time to reduce the force exerted by the ball, moving ball. That is the reason. It's clear to you? That means here is a deduction. If if delta p is fixed, the ball is fixed, the moving ball, এখানটা মুছে দেবো, এখানটা মুছে দিই, ওকে, প্রচন্ড স্পিডে মনে করো দিস বল ইজ কামিং ভেরি হাই স্পিড, সো হিয়ার ইজ mu and here is also mu. If you catch the ball here, if you catch the ball here, the time is this, time is t. So the force developed here is mu by t, and force exerted here also is rebound is. But if you just turning this here, that is time is t1, so t1 is greater than t, so mathematical deduction, so here is f1, f1 is mu by t1, so you know if this is increase, ultimately this is decrease, because these are same mu, so for that reason f1, the force exert is less than f, f1 is less than s, that means if you just catching here, the exact force is less than this, so it's not injury in your hand, and as soon as the ball is not miss from your hand or out from your hand, that is the reason. For that reason, in that all the cases are write down here. If does not pull back the hand, the stop as soon as he used to very little time, short time. When the ball is back, he gets certain large time to stop, to exert force by the moving body decrease. For that reason, here is also a deduction for that. This is this. F1 is equal to mu, this part. This is mu, this is mu, u is, this is t1. এইখানে catch করছে. So in the large time, here is the large time, that means f2 is equal to this. So t2 is greater than t1, so f2 is less than f1. This is the very important thing. And here is the negative sign, a change in momentum. Negative sign. Negative sign means the momentum in the direction initial to the opposite direction. এই যে আসছে বলটা এদিকে, ব্যাক করার চেষ্টা করে অপোজিট দিকে, ওকে, ফর দ্যাট রিজন দ্য মোমেন্টাম ইজ নেগেটিভ, অ্যাভয়েড দ্য ইনজুরি ইজ ওকে. Now second example is this. This is so many examples are there. Here is the catching the ball example. Here is I just change this. Okay, here suppose one other thing, if the suppose is a long jump moving and is skate, this is a solid. If the solid, the back, so in that case jump here, from here jump, so sudden stop, the rebounds is very greater. Suppose this is mu, sudden stop is 0, that means u minus this, the time is t, so force is actually mu by t. But when there is a foam or this jump here, but is down this, that means is rest here and rebound, so time is greater to stop. When a athlete jump and on the sand or a foam after taking the high jump, একটা অ্যাথলিট যখন হাই জাম্প করে দেখবে কোনো সলিডের উপর জাম্প করে না, জাম্প করে কোনো ফোমের উপরে, বিকজ সলিডের উপর যখন ইউ জাস্ট জাম্প অন দ্য সলিড, ডেড স্টপ, that is a very short time you stop, that means time is very less. Here is the formula, you know, mu by t. If this is greater, this is less, তো তোমাকে কি করতে হবে, এই টাইমটাকে বাড়াতে হবে, টু ডেড স্টপ, টাইমটাকে বাড়িয়ে দাও। ফর দ্যাট রিজন যে জাম্প অন দ্য foam or the sand, because it not brought rest it quickly. If this is stop here and the solid medium, সঙ্গে সঙ্গে পড়ে সঙ্গে সঙ্গে স্টপ হয়ে যাওয়ার চেষ্টা করে, so time is very minimum. If the time is less, the reaction force, here is the reaction force F is greater, but here is the reaction force is less. F1, it is solid medium, এখানে যে reaction force is very large, here is the reaction force is very less, তো একটা অ্যাথলিট সে কিন্তু ইনজুরি হবে না। ফর দ্যাট রিজন, তাহলে তোমার ফার্স্ট কাজ কি, ফর দ্যাট রিজন দে করে এটা, তো টাইমটাকে বাড়িয়ে দাও, কাম টু রেস্ট, বাট দ্য টাইম ইজ ইনক্রিজ। ইফ দ্য টাইম ইনক্রিজ, mathematical deduction is this, mu the momentum, here is t is the increase, so t increase means f decrease. But if the t is in case solid medium, so if mu is same, but this t1 is less, that means this value is greater. and this value, this t is greater, so this value is less. Suppose as a mathematical example, suppose mu is 30 and this is t is 10 and here is mu is 30, t is 3. What is the result? What is the F here? What is the reaction force here? So this is 10 Newton. But what is the F here? This is a 3 Newton. দেখো, what is the difference? Just an example. Just the initial momentum jump করছে, initial momentum. This is mu, that is 30. And এখানে brought to rest, the time is 3 seconds. Time is 3 seconds. What is the reaction force? Jump is. Because this is the force. What is the force developed from the floor? That is 30 by 3, 10 Newton. But when you jump on the floor, there is a foam is there, you just brought to rest certain increase your time. This increased time is 10. Here is 3 seconds, here is 10 seconds. But this is 30 and this is 30 are same. So what is the force developed here? 30 by 10, this is a 3 Newton. That means when you jump, the reaction force here is 3 Newton. When you jump on the sand or the foam, but here on the floor, the reaction force is 10. Effect of the force of this. So for that reason, so athlete jump on the floor, foam or the sand, the reaction force, and is avoid injury. For that reason, it's clear to you. Very important thing. What is the mathematical deduction is this? Mathematical concept is suppose আমরা এখানে অনেক সময় দেখি, আমি এখানে জাস্ট এক্সাম্পলও লিখেছি, when a glass vessel, suppose a solid floor, a glass just এখানে পড়লো, when a glass vessel fall on a hard floor, এই হার্ড ফ্লোরে পড়েছে, এটা দেখবে টুকরো টুকরো হয়ে ভেঙে যাচ্ছে, it's breakdown, because here is the real F is greater. এটা পড়লো, সাপোজ mu, এখানে টাইমটা মনে করো t, brought to rest because of solid very quickly stop. That means the greater force it developed. That means here F is mu by t1. এই যে ফোর্সটা ডেভেলপ করছে, this force is greater force. The effect of this moving body, the force developed by the moving body, the force rested force is developed by the moving body. এই যে মুভিং বডি, the গ্লাসটা বলতে ধপাস করে পড়ছে, or the disc very quickly stop and dead stop, তাহলে তার রেস্ট পাওয়ার কাম টু জিরো হওয়া ভেরি কুইক শর্ট টাইমে, খুব অল্প সময়ের মধ্যে রেস্ট হয়ে যাচ্ছে. That means the time is very less, so force developed here is greater. But when এটা যখন কোনো মনে করো তুমি এখানে লিখেছি আমি কার্পেট, ধরো কার্পেটের উপর পড়েছে, একটা গ্লাস ডিস এবং কার্পেটের উপর পড়েছে, আমরা দেখেছি ইন ইওর হোম, একটা মনে করো কাঁচের ডিস কোনো কার্পেটের উপর পড়েছে বা কোনো গদির উপর পড়েছে, ইটস নট ব্রেক ডাউন, বিকজ ডেড স্টপ হতে তার টাইমটা বেশি লাগে, ইনক্রিজ দ্য টাইম টু স্টপ. এইটা যখন পড়ছে, এটা দেখো কার্পেটের ভেতরে কিন্তু ঢুকে যাচ্ছে কিছুটা, ডেড স্টপ হতে টাইম লাগছে, সো ইনক্রিজ দ্য টাইম. হিয়ার ইজ t2, সো হিয়ার ইজ দ্য ফোর্স ডেভেলপ, দ্যাট ইজ mu by t2. বাট দিস t2 টাইম, সাপোজ এটা যদি মনে করো 20 সেকেন্ড হয়, টাইমটা বেশি, এখানে 5 সেকেন্ডে শেষ হয়ে যাচ্ছে, এটাই মনে করো 5 সেকেন্ড লাগছে ডেড স্টপ হতে. তো টাইম ইজ লেস হিয়ার, তো ফোর্স ডেভেলপ, রিয়াকশন ফোর্স ডেভেলপ ইজ গ্রেটার. ফর দ্যাট রিজন দ্য গ্লাস ইজ ব্রেক ডাউন. বাট হিয়ার দ্য টাইম ইজ very increase time, that is same mu or mu, the force, total impulse, total momentum is same, but here is the time is greater. So time greater means this is the mathematical reduction, mu by t2. So this is the inversely proportional to force F is less developed. এই Fটা হচ্ছে less, কম. এটার ক্ষেত্রে যা ধরো এটাকে F1 বলি, that means F1 less than F. এখানে যে ফোর্সটা ডেভেলপ করছে আর এখানে যে ফোর্সটা ডেভেলপ করছে, this force is less than this force. For that reason the glass or the disc is not break down. That is the very important thing. That is the mathematical concept. Okay, so for that is আমরা in general আমরা দেখবে সানের মেঝেতে, মানে শক্ত মেঝেতে পড়লে অনেক সময় হাত পা ভেঙে যায়, লাগে, কিন্তু যখন আমরা লাপাই টাপাই কোনো গদির ওপর, আমাদের তখন লাগে না, হাত পা ভাঙে না. For that reason, because if we just fall down on the hard floor, very quickly you rest, the time is very short, the reaction force from the floor is very high. But in case of this carpet or other things, the reaction force is, or the effect of the moving body force, the force exerted by the moving body is less. For that reason we cannot show injury for that reason. So this is the very important concept. First you develop your concept in case of physics. Okay, so next day I'll try my best to solve the different types of sums of this. Okay, so Newton first law complete, second law complete, the momentum is complete. What is the concept of this? What is the reason background to this? People, why the cricketer? Just you see why the cricketer catch the ball here. Not is moving this. That means is increase the time to stop the ball. Time is increased. The time is increased. The force from the moving ball, exerted force developed by the moving ball on the hand is decreased. So ball is not out from the hand and his hand is not injured. So this is the scientific reason of this. All of the mathematical deduction. Okay. So thank you for today. If you just understand, please share and subscribe the channel. Thank you. Thank you, student. Thank you for that.